Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet Designs YouTube channel. In this video tutorial we're going to learn how to crochet the hooked on clusters crochet pumpkin. The pattern comes in 5 different sizes from extra small to extra large. In this video we're going to crochet together the size extra small pumpkin. For the rest of the sizes you can find the links to my website, Etsy and Ravelry, where you can purchase the detailed written pattern. So let's see how to start. Okay, so now let's see the material that we're going to use. I'm using worsted weight yarn, a 4mm crochet hook, and we are going to need for the decorations twine and a cinnamon stick. And then this part is optional. We're going to use DK yarn and a 3mm crochet hook to make tendrils. So this is what we're going to make in the end, if you'd like to add it on your pumpkin. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to leave a long tail, and that's because we're going to start with a foundation chain. Now, if you do not like to start with a foundation chain, you can start with a regular chain, and for size extra small, we're going to start with 23 foundation chains. This means that in row 1, we're going to have 23 single crochet. But if you want to start with a regular chain, you can work 24 chains, and then row 1 you're going to start crocheting from the second stitch from the second chain from the hook, so you're going to get the same number of stitches in the end. So let's start with a total of 23 foundation chains. I'm leaving a long tail. Okay, take your crochet hook and work your beginning knot. Okay, so we're going to take right here in the front is the small tail, and back here is the yarn that's coming out from my skein. The small tail I want to wrap, I'm always going to be wrapping it from the front going up to the back of my crochet hook, and then the part that's coming from my skein I'm always going to be wrapping it around from the back up, coming to the front. Okay, so this right here is the small tail. Wrap it from the front, and with your fingers back here, take the yarn that's coming from the skein and wrap it through around your crochet hook and work your first foundation chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have worked my 23 foundation chains, and this is how my work looks like at this point. Okay, so chain 1 and turn your work. Our starting tail is on the bottom right now. So if you have started with 24 regular chains, you're going to start from the second chain from the hook for a total of 23 single crochet. Since we have 23 foundation chains, we're going to start working from the very first stitch, and we're always grabbing the back loops. And we're going to be grabbing the back loops throughout the whole pattern. Okay, so right here, work your first back loop single crochet. 1, next stitch, 2, 3, back loops, 4, 5, 6, 7, and keep crocheting for a total of 23 stitches. Right here is going to be your last stitch, your 23rd stitch, and you're going to grab the back loop. Okay, we have a total of 23 back loop single crochet, and this is how my work looks like. Now we're going to start row number 2, and we're going to start working our clusters. If you started with a regular chain and you just completed your first row of single crochet, you want to work one more row of back loop single crochet, and then you're going to work the row with the clusters. So you're always going to be an extra row from what I show in the pattern. Okay, so chain 1, turn your work, and in order to have nice edges, we're not going to start with chains. I usually started with 2 or 3 chains because we work the double crochet, but we're going to start with a stacked single crochet. We're going to create, so our first stitch is going to be a double crochet using the stacked single crochet method. So again, we're always working in the back loops, so work in the back loop of the first stitch and work a single crochet. Now in order to work the stacked single crochet, I'm going to put my hook, see how I have 2 loops of the single crochet that I just worked. I'm going to take my crochet hook through this bottom loop like this, from the right going to the left. And I'm going to work one more single crochet in that stitch. Okay, so put your hook under this loop over here, take yarn, pull through, and have 2 loops on my hook. Take the yarn and pull through the 2 loops to create a single crochet. So this is now sorry, so this now is my first stitch, and it's a double crochet. Chain 1, we are going to skip 1 stitch, put your hook in the next one, and we're going to work our first cluster. So take the yarn under the loop, take the yarn, pull through, and we have 3 loops on our hook. Take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, and leave the last 2 on your hook. Yarn over once, put your hook under the same stitch, take the yarn, pull through. We have 4 loops on our hook. Take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, and leave the last one on your hook. Now we have 3 loops on our hook, and we have made 2 stitches under the loop over here of the single crochet. Okay, yarn over once for a third and last time, put your hook under the loop, take the yarn, pull through. We have 5 loops on our hook, take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, and we have 4 loops on our hook, and these are basically 3 halfway done double crochet, which I'm going to take yarn, pull through all 4 loops, and this is my first cluster. This counts as 1 stitch. Chain 1, yarn over once, skip the next stitch, put your hook in the next one, grab the back loop, and work the next cluster. Take yarn, pull through the stitch, take the yarn through the first 2 loops, and leave the last 2 on your hook. Yarn over once, put your hook under the same loop, take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, and we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over once and put your hook under the same stitch for a third and last time. Take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, and we have 4 loops on our hook. Take the yarn, pull through all 4 loops, and chain 1. So this is how it looks when we have worked our first 2 clusters. Next one, yarn over once, skip one stitch, put your hook in the next one, grab the back loop, take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over once, put your hook under the same stitch, take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over once, put your hook under the same stitch, take the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, and we have 4 loops in our hook. Take yarn, pull through all 4 loops, and chain 1. This was our 3rd cluster. For size extra small, we're going to have a total of 10 clusters. I'm going to finish working my clusters across, and I'm going to turn my video back on to work the last double crochet of the row together. I have completed working my clusters. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clusters. And for every size, we're always going to be left with 2 stitches in the end, because we're skipping one and we're going to crochet in the last stitch of the row. So yarn over once, grab the back loop of the last stitch, and work 1 double crochet. And this is how our work looks like at this point. We've just completed row number 2, which is our first row of repetitions. Now we're going to start row number 3, which is our second row of repetitions, for a total of 23 back loop single crochet. So chain 1, turn your work, and starting from the very first stitch, we're going to work in the back loops of every stitch. So in the back loop of the single crochet, in the back loop of the chain stitch, in the back loop of the single crochet, in the back loop of this chain stitch. Okay, so sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep crocheting for a total of 23 back loop single crochet. I've completed row number 3 for a total of 23 back loop single crochet, and this is how my work looks like. Now we're going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work, and row number 4 is going to be a row of back loop single crochet again. So starting from the very first stitch, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep crocheting for a total of 23 back loop single crochet. This right here is going to be your very last stitch. I've completed row number 4 for a total of 23 back loop single crochet, chain 1, turn work, and now we're going to start row number 5, which is the last row of repetitions. Okay, so I chained 1, turn my work, and starting from the very first stitch, we're going to work 1 back loop single crochet in every stitch across again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep crocheting for a total of 23 stitches. This one right here is going to be the 23rd single crochet. I have completed working row number 5 for a total of 23 back loop single crochet, and this is how our work looks like at this point. Now this is the wrong side of our work because we're seeing the wrong side of the clusters, and this right here is the good side. So between every row of clusters, we're always going to be having 3 rows of back loop single crochet. Okay, then again 1 row of clusters, 3 rows of back loop single crochet, and the clusters, they're also worked in the back loops of the stitches. So from the beginning to the end, we're always working in the back loops. So at this point we are in row number 5. We are going to keep working up until row number 21. Okay, I'm going to turn my video back on, and from rows 6 to row 21 we are repeating rows 2 to row 5. Okay, so I'm going to work up to row 21, and I'm going to turn my video back on to see how we're going to continue from there on. I have completed up to row 21, and this is how my work looks like. Okay, so now we're going to work row number 22. I have already chained 1, I have turned my work, and row 22 is going to be a row of clusters. Okay, so we're going to start with our stacked single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, put your hook in the next one, and work a cluster stitch. Chain 1. Okay, so row 22 is a row of clusters. I'm going to finish the row, and I'm going to turn my video back on. I have completed row 22. Again, we have a total of 10 sets of clusters. Now we're going to work the last row, which is going to be row number 23. We're going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work, and starting from the very first stitch, I'm going to work 1 back loop single crochet for every stitch across, again for a total of 23 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep crocheting for a total of 23 back loop single crochet. I have completed row number 23 with a total of 23 back loop single crochet. Now we're going to join, and we're going to stuff to create our pumpkin. So chain 1 and turn your work. This you're going to do for all sizes. Okay, we're always going to chain 1, turn our work, and we always finish our pumpkins by working the last 2 rows are going to be a row of clusters and the row of single crochet, back loop single crochet. Okay, so chain 1, turn your work, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the bottom piece. We're going to bring it up, and we're going to start working slip stitches across. Okay, so I know it's going to be a little weird trying to fit the first slip stitch, but if we don't do this, we're going to have our stitches aren't going to look right. So if it's hard for you, cut the yarn, fasten off, and attach new yarn to start working your slip stitches. But it's not difficult. It's just a little, you're going to see how it's going to look like. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be putting my crochet hook in the full stitch of the foundation chain. So right here, we're grabbing the full stitch of the foundation chain, and back here in the row of single crochet, I'm always going to be working a back loop. I'm always going to be putting my hook in the back loop of every stitch. Okay, so fold your work in half. Our starting tail is always going to be on the left when we do this, and this is going to be the wrong size of our pumpkin. So put your hook in the first stitch of the foundation chain, and in the back loop of the first single crochet. Now be careful, because this is not the first stitch. This is the chain that we work to turn our work. Okay, so this right here is the first single crochet, and grab the back loop and work your first slip stitch. So take the yarn through the single crochet, through the foundation chain, and through the loop that we had on our hook. So this right here was our first slip stitch. Put your hook in the second stitch in the front, second stitch in the back, always grabbing the back loop, and work a slip stitch. Third stitch in the front, third stitch in the back, always grabbing the back loop, and work a slip stitch. Fourth stitch in the front, fourth stitch in the back loop, and work your slip stitch. Next stitch in the front, next one in the back. The reason that I open my work like this is so I can see where I worked my last slip stitch, and it's in this stitch over here. So I always want to be going into the next one and work your slip stitch. So I'm going to keep working one slip stitch across for a total of 23 slip stitches. Okay, I'm almost done working my slip stitches. I've worked 22 slip stitches, and we're going to work the last one together. This right here is the 23rd stitch in the front and 23rd stitch on the back, always grabbing the back loop. And work your last slip stitch. Chain one, cut the yarn and leave a pretty long tail, and fasten off. Okay, so this is how our work looks like at this point. This is the wrong side of our pumpkin now. Okay, so we're going to turn the inside out, and this is where we worked our slip stitch to join. See how the rows look identical? Here are the rows of single crochet, and this is where we worked our slip stitch. This is why we're working it on the wrong side, and this is why we were grabbing the full stitch of the foundation chain and the back loop of the single crochet to create the same effect on the good side of our pumpkin. So now I'm going to take my needle, and we're going to start closing up the pumpkin to stuff it. Okay, so the reason why I left a pretty long tail is because I'm going to sew having two strings on my having the yarn doubled like this, because if it's single and you start pulling to tighten up the stitches, your yarn might break, so we won't want that to happen. So this is why I have my yarn doubled. And leave the tail, this one, the beginning tail, do not weave it in yet, because we're going to use it to make a knot in the end, which, I mean, it's not necessary, but it helps to secure the yarn in the end. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start sewing to close up our pumpkin. So take your needle and put it through the one stitch, take it out through the other, go in the next stitch, but since this is my double crochet, I'm going to jump over it and go right here in the stitch. Take your stitch out in the next one. Okay, and in every few stitches, now this is still the beginning, we're going to start pushing the work to shrink it, okay, to tighten up the top of to tighten up the pumpkin, sorry. So put your needle in the one stitch, take it on the other. There's no right or wrong, so there's no, oh, I put my needle in the right stitch or in the wrong stitch. You just want to put through the stitches in the one stitch, take it out through the other one, so the work starts to close up like this. Okay, so keep sewing all around. Okay, I've reached my last stitch. See how this is the beginning tail, and I came back to where I started, and tighten up your work as much as possible. Take these tails and make a knot. Okay. Now if your hole is not 100% closed on the top, while we weave in this yarn all around the stitches, we're going to keep tightening it up so we can close the stitches 100%, okay? So because this is the extra small pumpkin, you can see that it's almost perfectly closed, but for the bigger pumpkins, because it's going to be a little larger, your hole in the end is going to be a little bigger. So you're going to use this yarn, and as we weave in the end, we're going to close it 100%. And I want to go through all the stitches right here on the top. Okay, now make a few knots. Do that one more time. Weave in the yarn a little more. And cut it. Now because I accidentally deleted the seam, what we want to do after we weave in the after we make the knot and we weave in through a few more stitches, bring the yarn on the inside of the pumpkin, okay? Bring it in, take the tail and cut it, okay? And what we're going to do now is we're going to stuff our pumpkin with polyester. So take the polyester and start putting it in the pumpkin. We want to stuff it, but please be careful to not overstuff your pumpkin because the stitches are going to stretch out and the polyester is going to be showing on the inside. So you want to fix the polyester inside with your hands. Now once it looks stuffed until the top, what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little shape. So close it up and go like this. Okay, and see how it looks like a small vase now? It really helps to give shape to the pumpkin. Stuff a little more. Give it some shape. And now we're going to cut a tail. Again, it's going to be doubled up, so as we tighten up the stitches, it doesn't break. Okay, so again we're going to start sewing in the same exact way we sewed the other side. I have doubled the yarn again, like I said earlier, for it to be strong enough to tighten up, and start sewing around. And as you take the yarn through, make sure to leave a tail. Again, it's going to help us in the end to tighten up the stitches. Okay, keep weaving all around. And I'm all the way back to the front again. So take the two starting tails over here, and on the left side we have our starting tails. On the right side is the yarn that we were just weaving in. Tighten up the pumpkin and make a knot. Okay, again, if you have a little hole left on the top, keep weaving in through the stitches right here on the top a little bit. We can make a few knots. Work one more knot. Weave it in a little more. Okay, now we're going to give shape to our pumpkin. So if you recall, we were working a row of clusters and then 3 rows of back loop single crochet. Now those 3 rows of back loop single crochet, they're giving us a little dent right here, which we are going to use as a guide to start sewing our pumpkin around. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the yarn. Okay, take it through that dent. Now put your needle from the bottom, center the one that we weaved in earlier. Squish your pumpkin so the needle comes out through the front, but in the center again. We always want our needle to go down through the center in the bottom of the pumpkin, and we want it to be coming up out from the center of the pumpkin again. Okay. Before you tighten it up, make sure the yarn goes through the correct spot. Okay, and now tighten it up enough so it makes the pumpkin shrink, but do not tighten it too much because it's going to become like a disc. So this is enough. Okay, now as you hold the yarn tight on the top over here, now it's your choice if you want to go through every dent of every 3 rows of single crochet that we worked, or you can skip one dent and go to the next one, skip one dent and go to the next one, and so on. So as I start, I always skip a dent, even though I'm going to sew through each one. But first I always skip through one dent and go to the second one, and if I want to go through each one, I do it in the end. So this is where we just took the yarn through. I'm going to skip this one and I'm going to go to the next one, take the yarn through the dents, put your needle from the center, from the bottom center, and bring it up through the top center. Fix the yarn so they're next to each other and tighten it up. Again, skip the next dent, go to the one after it, take the needle from the bottom center to the top center, and now do it onto the rest of them. Give it a little shape, make a knot here on the top using this end over here, give it shape. Now we're going to weave in the ends, and then I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to attach the cinnamon and how to crochet the tendrils in the end. Now we're going to hot glue our cinnamon on our pumpkin. So put some hot glue in the center of your pumpkin and hold the cinnamon right here in the center for a few seconds. Okay, so this is how it looks at this point. Now we're going to take our twine, cut a long tail depending on how long you want your bow to be. Okay, tie it. Tie it like this so it's ready to place it over the cinnamon. Okay, tight. Now if you want to secure it 100%, you can put a small dot of your hot glue on the back here. Otherwise, the bow, the twine, is going to be moving up or down. And this is our pumpkin completed. Now, if you want to work the tendrils, if you want to make those curly thingies on your pumpkin, and hopefully I'm saying them correctly, using my DK yarn and my 3mm crochet hook, I'm going to start with a chain of 40. Start with your beginning knot, and we're working a regular chain now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40. So I have my 40 chains, and now I'm going to start crocheting from the second chain from the hook. This is the first chain, this is the second one. Place your crochet hook, and we're going to be working 2 single crochet in every chain across for a total of 80 single crochet. 1 same stitch, 2 next chain, 1 and 2, next one, 1 and 2, next one, 1 and 2. And this is how your work is going to start to look like, because we're working 2 single crochet in every stitch. It's going to start to curl up. 1 and 2, next one, 1 and 2. Okay, this is how your work looks like. So keep working 2 single crochet in every stitch across for a total of 80 single crochet. I've worked my 80 single crochet, and this is how my work looks like. Chain 1, cut the yarn and fasten off. Okay, now if your work makes like a weird curl over here, just help it and give it the same curl as the rest of the row. Doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong, it just curls like that because we keep crocheting and pulling it outwards. And weaving the ends, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to make a little knot over here just so we can see how it looks like. I'm going to cut the ends, but this is not a secure way to use. You need to weave in the ends in the back loops of the stitches, okay? And I'm just going to pin it on my pumpkin so you can see how it looks like. I would suggest that you hot glue them on the pumpkin, okay? Somewhere in the middle, and place it on your pumpkin. And this is, look how pretty it looks with the tendrils on. So cute. And this is how to create the hooked on clusters crochet pumpkin. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, please press like and leave a comment. If you're interested in the other sizes as well, I have pinned the first comment with all the links to my website, Etsy, and Ravelry stores. Bye bye.